Chapter 15. A Sense of Smell. How strange that so much exists on earth that is not visible. How difficult to identify these things. How much of the world human beings do not possess at all. Radio waves, curling and wafting in their infinite symmetry. Waves that bats read to find their way in the dark. Waves that whales read, listening to their relatives oceans away. Colors those ultraviolets human eyes cannot see, but whose presence can burn and fade the skin and the soul. Sounds those low sonorous murmurs or high unheard whistles that make a dog's ears prick up while humans sleep on. A human cannot smell where an animal has marked its territory, but the rest of the living world knows. Deep in the forests, out in the wide mountain meadows, every fox and deer, every woodchuck and chipmunk knows. Only humans stand ignorant of those invisible, inaudible kingdoms. But this was different. The rich scents that filled Dove's nostrils belonged to her. She knew them, she had names for them. Cut hay, turned earth, burning gas, fragrant flowers, boy's sweat. Dove was back in Dove. She clung to Timmy's shirt. Oh, the joy of feeling the cotton against her fingers. The inexpressible joy of looking where she chose to look. Saying what she wanted to say. Moving where she wanted to move. A smell saved us, thought Dove. A smell brought me back. Some perfume of the earth was strong enough to oppose some perfume of evil. I'm sorry, she said. I lost my balance. I'm scared, Timmy. Let's land, please. Timmy maneuvered the ropes. Okay, he said in a funny, collapsed voice. The field on the other side of that brook would be perfect. But what smell? Thought Dove. Of all the million smells in the world, ones I can identify and ones I can't, which smell brought me back? Cut hay, turned earth, burning gas, fragrant flowers, boy's sweat. All or a combination, or one I didn't even know I was sniffing. There is an antidote. I know that now, but I can't be going up in hot air balloons to sniff for it every time Wing gets back in control. First, Timmy was saying, he had to look and see if there was anything important growing in the field, because they weren't supposed to land where farmers' crops would be ruined. No, he could see a horse at the far end of the field, near a white fence. So it was pasture, except that he might scare the horse, and that would be terrible. He could never face the farmer, let alone ask to use his phone. If the horse went berserk with fear and broke loose, or broke his leg trying. The burst of speech from Timmy was so incredibly beautiful. And Dove, too, had speech. A mouth, lips, tongue, vocal cords, throat. Thank you, thought Dove. Thank you for all the body has and does and is. Dove looked down at herself, at the miracle that is the human body. She curled her fingers with ecstasy. The fingers belonged to her. She could control them. They would obey. Dove could not help laughing a little, joy pouring out of her. The body was awesome. To be alive again, to have flesh as well as soul, it was the most beautiful thing on earth. I'm okay, she thought. I'm back. I don't know exactly what happened, but I'm here again. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't think you've won. said Wing, fierce and sharp and full of hate. Dove was cocky. She had come back in time, and why not? She said snippily to Wing. I have. You've won this time, but not the next. You won't be coming back, said Dove. I'm too strong. Too here. Yes, I will come back. Hesta still has the venom. I'm not friends with Hesta, Dove pointed out. You're in class with Hesta, though, and you're not, so there. Timmy said, Dove, are you okay? Dove froze. Had she been talking out loud? Had Wing been using her mouth at the same time? Had Timmy listened to their conversation? Nobody would understand that there were two living in the head. Nobody would be sympathetic. She stole a glance at Timmy. He looked freaked. Which of us is the freak? Thought Dove. Am I so far gone that I can't even tell if I'm talking out loud? Have I become one of those weird people sleeping on streets, muttering to myself and jerking at my hair and my clothes? I'm fine, Timmy. Just glad we're down. We're not down, Dove, said Timmy quietly. Dove had been so busy smelling and breathing, she had forgotten to look at anything. There was as much sky around her as before. She was as wrapped in blue as if she had been swimming in the Mediterranean or the Nile. Timmy was not looking at her with affection. He was looking at her with anxiety. No, with fear. Inside the head, Wing laughed and laughed. Timmy half knew, she said. He half realized I was going to push him. He can't quite believe it. But he can't quite unbelieve it either. Look at his eyes, Dovey. See how wrecked they are. He's scared, Dovey, of us. Wing reveled in it. She had scared somebody within an inch of his life, and it had made her happy. Only pushing Timmy out would have made her happier. When they finally landed, and the family in whose yard they landed came running out, thrilled to see their first hot air balloon, telling Timmy, of course, he could use their phone to call the truck to come get them. Dove knew that Wing had ended the tiny romance. Timmy was afraid of her. Timmy, whose hand she wanted to hold, whose lips she wanted to kiss. Timmy kept carefully to the far side of the room, and the far side of the truck cab that carried them back to the fairgrounds. And when they were going home, kept also to the far side of his car. Neither person said a word the whole drive back to Sky Change Hills condominiums. Radios are so useful. The noise, the patter of the DJ, the melody, and the percussion, and the synthesized chords. These took the place of romance and conversation. The radio played on and on. Timmy dropped her off in front of the complex. Wouldn't you like to come in? Said Dove. She tacked a nervous smile on her face. I mean, we left so early for the liftoff that it's not even noon yet. Let's have a sandwich. Timmy tacked a nervous smile on his face, too. No, thanks, he said politely. Much too politely. Got to go home and mow the lawn. Oh, I forgot lawns, said Dove. Living in a condo complex, you forget stuff like that. Yeah, you do, said Timmy. He kept both hands on the wheel. He was waiting for her to get out and shut the door so he could drive away. Please don't let this be over, thought Dove. Let me think of something interesting to say, something that will make him laugh and like me again. She swallowed. Some of the thoughts in her head belonged to Wing. Oh, the unfairness of it. She did not even dare to speak, lest Wing's words emerge, lest Wing's terrible personality come out of Dove's throat like tainted water. Timmy sat very still. She put her hand on the door handle and pulled the small metal lever toward herself, and the door opened, and the automatic seat belt slid neatly away from her chest. Timmy said, "Well, thanks for coming. Have a nice weekend. See you around." She got a grip on her thoughts and her mouth. With great care, she kept Wing from speaking for her. "Thank you for asking me," Dove said. "It was very exciting. Please, Timmy, look at me. See Dove in this body and not Wing. Please." But he did not look up, and he did not see Dove. He drove away with controlled care, as if revving the motor or shifting gears too fast would form a net around him, condemning him to the personality he had felt in the wicker basket. Dove stood on the sidewalk outside the complex. She was exhausted. Her cramped, crowded, aching head felt alone. She did not have the slightest sense of Wing. "Am I alone in here after all?" thought Dove. "I don't feel occupied. I don't think she's in there." Dove was so tired she felt as if Wing must have taken all the energy when she left. She dissolved again, thought Dove. She's vanished a second time. I wonder where she went. Timmy's car turned the corner. He was out of sight now. There was hard-packed earth between him and the girl who might, he half believed, have tried to toss him out 1,000 feet above the ground. Timmy shifted almost violently into third, tires crying out against the hot pavement, then wrenched the gears into fourth, gravel flicking up from under his tires. Dove could hear the pebbles dancing long after Timmy's car was gone. She dragged herself into the complex. The rows of apartments seemed terribly far away and small. They might have been built of Legos. She might have been a plastic doll with plastic legs, with only a fraction of the necessary joints. She trudged into her own house. It was cool and quiet. The soft gray colors and carpets made it seem more like a hospital or a rest home. Her parents' various means of communication were flickering. Red lights on the answering machine, paper gently drifting out of the fax machine. A note from each parent lay on the stairs so that she would be sure to see the messages on the way up to her room. "Hope you didn't fall out of the balloon or anything," said her father's note. "I went golfing with a client. Home around dinner. Love you. Hope you had a wonderful time, darling," said her mother's note. "I went into work today. Will be home around dinner. A friend of yours dropped off a package for you. It's on the kitchen table. Love you." Dove perked up a little. She loved the word package. It sounded secret and special. Brown paper hiding a treat. Perhaps she would go into the kitchen, make herself something yummy to eat, and open the package. She was disappointed to see that it was not a real package, with tape and twine and extra postage, but a brown paper lunch bag, twisted at the top. It had fallen on its side, and whatever was in it had spilled. Venom